Hello, welcome. This session is going to focus on the mind and body connection in yoga. And, you hear that often, that one of the benefits of yoga is building that bridge between the mind and the body. And so we're going to talk first a little bit about what that means. And then we'll actually do some yoga where we connect the mind and the body and we use the breath to do it. So one of the things that I was taught when I very first started practicing yoga that has really stuck with me is this idea of if I do good, then I feel good. And so that goes back between the mind and the body. Like if I'm doing good for here, often I feel good in my body and vice versa. If I feel good in my body, then often I'm feeling good in my mind as well. And so, this class is labeled yoga for teens. And, that sense of mind body connection, and if I do good, feel good, is not just for teens. That's also for adults and well past your teen years. So I think the reason we start talking about this and why it's so beneficial for adolescents, if you are an adolescent or if you are a parent watching this, is that a lot of that awareness of mind body connection starts in the teen years, right? So it benefits us. Everything in this class, you could be in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, so on and so forth, and it would still be beneficial. But we start to notice that connection between the mind and body in the teens. So once we get into those adolescent years, yoga can be really beneficial as we just start to notice the way our mind works and the choices that we're making with our bodies. So one of the great tools in a yoga practice is this sense of a controlled breath, noticing the breath. And the breath is often, it's like a horse and a rider. So if you notice that like the breath is really choppy and frenetic and all over the place, then the mind is also probably all over the place and doing all sorts of things. Just like, the horse and the rider. So if the horse is running smoothly, then the rider is also having an enjoyable experience on top of the horse. So we use this tool of breath and controlling the breathing in order to control the mind, right? So if the horse is running smoothly, the rider is having a nice experience. If the breath is going smoothly, then often the mind is also a little bit more calm and grounded. So as we move in yoga, there is, you'll hear the teacher often cueing the inhales and the exhales as a way to control the breathing. Okay, so we end up in this moving meditation is what's happening. So we're moving on the mats, we're doing different motions in the body, and we're using the breath in that all in an effort to calm the mind. Right? So that's the connection between the mind and the body. We're using the breath, we're using these movements on the mat in order to start to control the mind, which is often just all over the place. And when you're experiencing those formative years that are happening, there's a lot more awareness that's going on in the mind, and the concerns and the changes and the anticipations and all of those things, where a tool like this becomes even more crucial and more valuable in our lives. So we'll start by just getting the breathing going. And then once we have the breath going, we can start to move the body with the breath together and see how that feels, once you've been moving for a few minutes, because it really doesn't take long, right? If you can just unroll your mat and move on your mat for 5 minutes, really that can make a difference in how you're feeling in the day, or just to change the perspective. If things feel a little bit haywire in the day, to unroll the mat and then to start doing some postures and some breathing exercises to reset that mind-body connection. So I'm going to go over to my mat, and we'll just start with the breath. And so you can just come into a seat, comfortable seat, And you'll take a big breath in and exhale through the nose. And then again, breathe in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. And so we're going to breathe in this way that's called Ujjayi breath. And if you want to see like an entire class broken down on Ujjayi breath, there's another tutorial that's in the Danielle Foundation's library that's on Ujjayi breath, but I'll just spend a short time here on it as we establish this type of breath. So you're making a noisy breath and constricting the back of the throat. Just in and out of the nose. And so the goal here being we start to just bring the attention to the breath. And by bringing our attention to the breath, we give the mind a task. And the mind can start to focus. And if we can focus the mind, the body starts to calm too. Can relax the shoulders. The muscles in your face soften. And still breathing through your nose. You're going to come into a shape called child's pose. So you're going to bring your knees wide and your big toes to touch. Your forehead is going to come to your mat. And so we're going to move even deeper to this connection between the mind and the body by linking our breath with our movements. So as you inhale, you're going to come up onto your hands and your knees and bring your knees underneath your hips. Your hands are underneath your shoulders. And we're going to start to do cat and cow. So for cow, you're going to drop your belly toward the ground. You'll look forward as you breathe in. And then exhale, curl your spine, chin to your chest, cat pose. Inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, curl and squeeze. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, round the spine. 2 more times like this. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, find a neutral spine. So the spine is long. And then curl your toes under. They might already be curled under. And then press back to downward facing dog. Then in down dog, the knees are slightly bent, the feet are hip distance apart from one another, and then you're looking back at either your navel or in between your feet. You might even be able to hear my breath, so you're still breathing that noisy breath in and out of your nose. And then walk your feet up toward the top of your mat. Clasp your hands at your low back. And then bow forward, bend the knees. You don't need to force the hands or the shoulders forward. Just let them stop wherever they naturally do. Release your hands. Walk your feet together. Roll up to stand. Reach your hands up. Take a breath in. And then exhale, bow forward. Bring your chest to your thighs. So we're still linking the breath and the movement. Inhale, halfway lift. Your back flattens and you look forward. Exhale, forward fold, chest to thighs. Inhale, stand all the way up. Reach up, breathe in. Exhale, bring your hands to your sides, reset. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand all the way up, stretch. Exhale, hands to your sides, reset. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow forward. For every breath, there's a movement. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your sides, reset. Reach up, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, hands to your sides. Reach back up, inhale. Fold in half, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Rise to stand, inhale. Hands at your sides, exhale. One more time like this. Reach up, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift, breathe in. Fold forward, breathe out. Stand all the way up, inhale. Hands at your sides, exhale. Good. This time, as you breathe in, you're going to bring your left knee up into your chest and then wrap your hands around your left shin bone. So there's a little bit of balance happening here. And you're using your breath and your gaze, so resting your eyes on something steady, something that's not moving, to find a little bit of balance. Mind is calm, breath is smooth. And then hopefully the body finds balance. It doesn't always happen that way, but that's where we're headed on this journey. And it doesn't matter how long you've been practicing. There's days where I'm just off balance, and there's days where everything's moving smoothly. Good. From here, we're going to stay in a balancing posture. You're going to let go of the hands. Take the left foot back behind you. Bring your hands by your hips, coming into airplane. So the left leg is engaged. Use your breath and use a steady spot to hold your vision. And then you're going to step your left foot to the back of your mat. I'm going to adjust my feet. So I'm going to take my right foot a little bit further forward and then come into warrior one. My right knee is bent and my hands are reaching up to the ceiling. And then you're going to open up to warrior two. So my hands are going to reach apart, still bending my right knee. My gaze is going to land over my right set of fingers. And that gaze point, we call it in yoga your drishti. That's also going to help to focus the mind and build that mind-body connection. So you're just giving your eyes a task, somewhere to rest. Straighten your right leg, reach your right fingertips forward. When you get to the point that they can't reach any further, take your right hand down to your shin bone or wherever it naturally lands, and then your left hand up toward the ceiling. And then you're going to pull your belly to your spine. So engage your core, press down through both feet, and then reach your hands forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then step both feet back up to the top of your mat. And you're back where we started. We're going to do the other side. So you're going to take your right knee up in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers around the right shin bone. And so you can use your breath and your gaze to find balance. Again, over and over is coming back to this idea of connecting the mind, what's happening in the body, and what's happening with our breath. And then come back into airplane. The right foot heel kicks back. And then step your right foot to the back of your mat. I'm going to adjust my feet. So step my left foot forward a little bit and then reach my hands up for warrior one. And then open up to warrior two. Straighten your left leg, reach, 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 and then drop the left hand down to your shin bone. Right hand up to the ceiling. And then you'll reach both hands forward, press through the heels, engage your core for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step both feet up to the top of your mat. We're back where we started. And then one time through, we're going to do that by linking the breath and the movement together. So take your left knee up, take a breath in. Exhale, kick back, airplane pose. Step the left foot back to the back of your mat. Inhale, reach up, warrior one. Exhale, open up, warrior two. Inhale, straighten your right leg. Exhale, triangle pose. Inhale, reach both hands forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift the right leg up. Exhale, airplane. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, triangle. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. And so you can keep doing that round and round to start to build that mind-body connection, to regain your breath, to refocus, recenter, and then really just to feel good in your body and in your mind. So remember that sense of like, you do good, you feel good, and it works vice versa in the mind and the body. So I hope that's helpful. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.